And welcome to our Big Ten Network watch party. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by Michigan State head coach Mel Tucker, football head coach, as we're watching the Michigan State-Purdue basketball game. And Mel, first, let me get back to your history with this sport. Your earliest memory of basketball at Michigan State was what?
Oh, you know what? Probably maybe when I was in high school watching like Steve Smith play or something like that. That was probably my biggest. That was probably my first. I used to watch Scott Skiles quite a bit. You know, Judd Heathcote getting after it on the sideline. That's what I remember probably. That was my earliest memory. But when I got here in 1997 and 98, you know, just watching Coach Izzo build the team and with Mateen Cleaves and Mo Pete and Antonio Smith and guys like that, that's when I really became a huge Spartan basketball fan.
So you were there as a young assistant, and you saw Tom Izzo at the beginning of building this program as a head coach. He had been obviously an assistant to Judd Heathcote. What did you see in Tom Izzo in those early years from your vantage point that we have now have seen blossom into a Hall of Fame career decades later?
Sure. He was so passionate about the game and about coaching. And when you would go to the games and you would watch him on the sideline, I mean, he was absolutely just, I mean, he was an animal. I mean, every possession, you know, getting after the players. I mean, coaching as hard as he possibly could, and just seeing the guys really respond to him. It was just the intensity and the heart and soul that he poured into that team, and I mean, each and every game, every possession. I mean, it was extraordinary.
What's it like to be at a school where the head men's basketball coach, who's a Hall of Famer, is an incredible advocate for football?
It's, you know what, it's great, and it's kind of unique. I'm not sure if I've ever really kind of been a part of a situation like this. I mean, he'll be the first to tell you that he loves football, and he joked with me when I first got here. He said he was disappointed that I didn't consider him to be my defensive coordinator at the time. You know, I mean, he loves football. Steve Mariucci is his best friend, and so you know, he's at every game. He comes to the practices. You know, he wants to speak to the team. You know, he likes to hang around, and he loves to talk football. I mean, it's a really special relationship, and it was like that when I was here before in 97 and 98. It's not just the relationship he had with Coach Saban, and the staffs were really close, but also the players. You know, the football players and the basketball players were, you know, really close, hung out together. It's really a family atmosphere.
Well, and to that point, I don't know of another basketball coach who would have his name or her name, if it's a women's basketball coach, on a football facility.
Right.
Expand a little bit on what's to come here at Michigan State.
Yes, I mean, Matt Ishbia is a former basketball player for Coach Izzo, loves Coach Izzo, gave us a very generous gift of, you know, $32 million. 20 million of that is dedicated solely for football, and he wants the new football facility. You know, it was his wish that it would be named after Coach Izzo, and you know, obviously, you know, I'm all for that. I mean, Coach Izzo is a huge advocate for football, Michigan State football, and for me as the head football coach. And I mean, who deserves it, something like that, more than Coach Izzo? And I think he's a little kind of embarrassed by that, for him to have his name on something, because he's such a, you know, he's just such a selfless person. He always wants to give credit to other people. But in terms of Michigan State and what he means to this university and to this athletic department. I mean, he cares about all sports, not just football. I mean, all the Olympic sports. I mean, he's an advocate for all of the head coaches. He's pulling for everyone, and for him to have that type of honor, it's just really special. And it just shows you what type of coach he is and what type of man he is, because Matt Ishbia was a walk-on, and Matt will be the first to tell you that Coach Izzo treated him like $1,000,000, just like all the other players, and he learned so much about life and from Coach Izzo and competing and being a team player, and a lot of what he learned from Coach Izzo, he's taken that into the business world. And so a great deal of his success he credits to Tom Izzo.
All right. So first of all, the setup you have going right now, where are you, and what do you got set up behind you there? I mean, obviously it could be your office, it could be your home. There's a lot of green and white there.
Yeah, this is my home office here. So I just do happen to have a basketball court here close by where I can get a couple of shots up every now and then. But this is where I hang out during the height of the COVID deal before the season started. This is where I hunker down, 12, 14 hours a day, recruiting and doing social media and all that type of thing. So, but yeah, we tricked it out, and we got green and white, all over the place here.
Looks very comfy. There's no question about it. Hey, I want to transition to the ability to play both sports. Like this year, Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga, big time quarterback in the state of Minnesota, could have gone in this league, maybe to Ohio State. I mean, his passing, full length bounce passes for the Zags this year has been phenomenal. So you can see as a point guard, Brad Davison obviously played football in Minnesota as well, playing for Wisconsin. And then you get the bigs who have become tight ends, maybe one of the more famous college basketball players to tight ends, maybe Antonio Gates played in the MAC, and then, he's had a long NFL career. What kind of skill set do you think translates from football to basketball, and maybe basketball to football?
Yeah, I think hand-eye coordination, balance and body control, change of direction, being able to bend, being able to burst, stop and start, and just general competitive toughness is huge. And so, when you see, a basketball player that also plays football, you're going to see a lot of things on the basketball court that translate to being a very good football player.
LeBron, had he decided to play football, what position?
Well, he probably could play any position that he wants. I could definitely see him as a mismatch receiver. Obviously, he would be a running catch, tight end. LeBron could probably play quarterback. If he was a safety, that would probably be, illegal. And, you probably have to sign a waiver before you step on the field with a guy like that, roaming the back end. I could see him as an outside linebacker, type guy. So LeBron could probably play any spot he wanted to. Phenomenal athlete.
Hey, so I want to just transition two things about this year. One, obviously the Spartans have struggled, and yet, obviously Tom has dealt with all different hurdles throughout the course of his career. What have you noticed about the manner in which he has coached this team and navigated not just through a pandemic, but also through some losing streaks?
Yeah, I mean, I talk to Coach Izzo quite a bit, almost daily. And the thing that I take away from just visiting with him during this season is that he is he believes in this. He believes in this basketball team. He knows that that they have potential to perform at a higher level, and even though he's won championships and has been in, been the Final Fours and has just had a great Hall of Fame career, he's still got a chip on his shoulder. It seems like he still feels like he's got something to prove. And every win you can still do better. Every loss, just as gut wrenching and sleepless nights. And so that's a sign to me of a true champion, a true winner. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. From a mindset standpoint is what have you done for me lately? And so he's grinding. He and the staff are grinding as hard as they possibly can to develop this team, and he's enjoying doing it. But it does, it certainly does. It does bother him when the team doesn't have success.
One other thing on him, Mel, is that Tom does an unbelievable job of being demanding, but never demeaning. And there is a line, and I know you know about that, because the reason I know he doesn't cross it is his players love him, and they come back. And there's that locker room upstairs at the President's Center that is for the alums because they like to come back. What is it about that line and how you make sure you come maybe close to it, but that you never cross it, of being demanding as a coach, but not being demeaning?
Well, obviously Tom, he cares about his players so much. And I think that the players, once you build trust with the players and they know that you care about them, they know that you love them, that they know that you want them to be successful, and you're willing to do everything you possibly can to help them, reach their goals and fulfill their dreams. Then, when you coach them hard or there's harsh constructive criticism, they know that it comes from a place of love, you're not criticizing the person, you're criticizing the action, but when you do that, when you're critical and you're coaching, if you can also provide, when you can also provide a remedy, when you can also provide a solution, when you can also teach a better way, and give them a tool that they can use and show them how to get it right, and then they do that and they get it right, you even build more trust, and they can handle the coaching, the hard coaching even more. But some players, it's just, some players handle the hard coaching better than others. And so, but that is a really, really special relationship that you have to have with your players, because when I believe that great coaches tell players what they need to hear, not necessarily what they want to hear.
And last thing, Mel, unprecedented season, shortened season. We hope a normal season to some degree in the fall, but spring football is still going to be under this current COVID situation. What are the plans to deal with spring football when we're clearly not out of the woods yet?
Yeah, testing is the key for us. During the season, we tested 6 days a week. And that was huge for us. We were able to practice and to play, and use, adhering to all the protocols that we had in place with our medical folks. Dr. Covan, our head trainer, Sally Nogle, we just, we really leaned into the science and the CDC guidelines, and that really helped keep us on track. And we're doing the same thing now. We have a test that through our university that we're using, and that's 6 days a week. So we're able to compete and train at a high level in our off-season conditioning program. And then we'll take that right into spring ball. We'll do the same thing, same approach that we took during the season. We'll take that into the spring in our 15 spring practices. And we'll be able to compete and teach, motivate, and develop our team and get better. And then it'll just be a matter of if we're going to have fans in the stands for the spring game. But we're going to play football. We're going to get better.
And hopefully we have a packed house in the fall or something close to it. Keep our fingers crossed. Mel, appreciate your time. Stay safe, and hopefully you have a good spring and an even better fall.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time. See if the Spartans can pull this out tonight. Go green.